To break down has given Bitcoin perhaps a new hope if this one thing happens.
Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't.
And we're back. Welcome back to Krown's Kiddo Cave. Waking up from a post-operation right now, feeling like I got hit like with a fucking truck last night. But I would like wish you a nice and well morning. It has been quite the last 24 hours since we last spoke, and there's actually a lot of things to talk about on good old price action right now. But I want to put the first focus on the Krown trading application right here, and put the focus on the open interest, which by the way can be found at app.krowntrading.net, and it's free. So take advantage of it. It's all good. Anyways, that's going to be tied into the analysis a little bit later. So keep your eyes and ears on that because we're going to be referencing that going onwards and forwards. Other than that, I do want to make a few announcement. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm pretty fucking incapacitated right now. So unless if it's like a life or death situation, please do not message me. That sounds like so fucking awful. I don't mean it in like a harsh way like that. It's just I have to like kind of focus on recovering right now. If you have any questions with what's going on in this whole venue, just email support@krowntrading.net, and Elsa will provide you with dick pic analysis, and that should be all that we need. And I'll probably be like this for the next few days, I'd imagine. Other than that, what else do I want to say? Oh yeah, all the programs are on sale for 20% off in the links below. As always, make sure to watch the videos accompanying them that will explain who they're for, who they're not for, who's going to benefit the most from them. Just like a little bit of an outset without getting too deep into that spiel, because I do want to get into the analysis right now. Is as always, you're only going to get out of it what you put in. So if you don't have the time component, the available time component, which right now we're all in fucking quarantine, so perhaps you do, perhaps you don't, I don't know. But if you don't have the time component of it to make the most of it, then it is probably not going to be a good fit, and I would not suggest getting into it. To give an idea, the TA program and the options program are 40 hours long and the newer program dedicated towards complete newbies is about 10 hours long. So it's a little bit less of a time commitment. But I should still say that these programs are meant to be referenced over time as well. So it really, in order to take the most value out of it, you have to have a lot of just freely available time, plus the dedication to actually, go through it. Anyways, okay, so I'll get off that topic right now. I want to talk about some goddamn price action. And is there anything else on the board over here that is staring me in the face that is quite obvious? Fear and greed index, very, very low, but not too actionable right now. It's really the open interest that I want to put the spotlight on. So we're still hanging around that 500 million mark, that $500 million mark that we were at pretty much the same yesterday, right? So let's go into the charts now and see what this is looking like. It looks like I've already kind of spoiled the surprise with a lower time frame. Blue boxes of peace and prosperity. So let's, or perhaps even death and destruction, because there is still bearish things within the charts. So let's kind of go through both cases right now. And I want to say at the outset that I am not feeling at the top of my game right now. So feel free to just, I don't know, feel free to do whatever the fuck you want to do. There you go. Anyways, looking at Bitcoin right here. Okay, so bears obviously do still have the descending triangle in play. Let's get a fresh chart for this one and draw her out. Something like this is what we're looking at right on over here. And it's still very much valid, actually. And it's actually better seen perhaps on like a 6 hour, I think is no, it's actually not. Maybe that's stamp. No, maybe it was the 10 hour, something like that. Yeah, the 10 hour is the one that's showing it right now. And then the altcoins as well are the ones that are showing this ascending triangle. And I do believe that they are still following it. However, as you can see, we are damn close to breaking out the top side of it, which typically does not happen. I mean, typically when we're looking at it, when we're looking at a descending triangle, the statistics are going to be to the downside, usually about a little bit above 70% hit rate to the downside. And in this case, we are nowhere near initiating the downside because we need about a 4 hour little closure below about 4,800, 4,850-ish region. I do want to check on the altcoins right now because again, this is a fresh look for myself, and see if they're still following that descending triangle as well. And let's see, what is Mrs. Litecoin doing right here? Why does this chart not look the same as what it did yesterday? I feel like something weird is going on here. Anyways, I can just redraw this really, really quickly. We got a nice bottom support trend line right here. So we still do have that. And it looks like we do have this ascending trend line going on right here. So yes, technically, yes, we do still have the descending triangle in place. Let's go check out Mr. Buterol. He was the other offender here as well. And yes, indeed, it appears that Mr. Buterol does have that same sort of descending triangle as well. Not as obvious, but it certainly is very much in there. and we are testing the top side of it. So all of the main leaders right now, and I pretty much look at Bitcoin, Buteral, and Litecoin as the main leaders in this market, are testing the top side resistance of this area of what would be the top side resistance of that descending triangle. But is there something else to be considerate of? Actually, yes, because right now, or sorry, well, not necessarily right now, but over the last day or so, this has been constructed right here. And we can actually redo this. And what we can look at is we can actually see a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders here. We have a left shoulder, head, right shoulder right here. This one over here is actually not a part of it. And we can make a measure move off that. And funnily enough, the resistance of that, the neckline of this, would actually be directly where the resistance of the descending triangle would be. So they're pretty much one and the same. And what do you know? If we do break it out to the upside, it would have a measure move pointed up towards about 61 to 6200-ish region, which is, if you remember from the video yesterday, our topside blue box on over here from our breakdown of March 12th, March 13th last week. So I do like that area if we do break above that region. And here's where I'll really start to break down technical analysis into the ways that I like to use it. So I don't care about patterns. I don't care what you call a pattern. Yes, I do like triangles. Triangles are pretty damn good. They do seem to work out pretty damn well, especially in cryptocurrency land. However, it's a game of supporting resistance for myself right now. And actually we can move this guy down. There we go. Let's actually go back to this chart. It's a little bit more obvious. Or do we want to go back to this chart? It's maybe a little bit less obvious. Anyways, so regardless of whether you're looking at this as a descending triangle or an inverted head and shoulders, the key critical component to the upside is the same, coming in right around about 5450, the same area that we had marked off yesterday, which would negate the bearish bias on the more immediate pattern. Now that we actually have spent a little bit of a day of what could be reaccumulation, I mean, do we have some sort of like an ascending, do we have a reaccumulation formation going on over here in the lower term timeframes? Kind of not. It looks like it's trying to do like fucked up ascending triangle. No, not really. I have to call a spade here. More importantly, the area of action is the same, right? So if we do start closing 4-hour dildos, especially above 5450, 5500-ish region as well, I would look for, at the very least, Bitcoin to take a leg up towards our next major resistance, which is actually not going to be all the way towards a full measured move on the, sorry, let me go to the 4-hour right here, which is not going to be towards a full measured move right here. It'd actually be a little bit further south towards about 5800-ish region, right around here, which should be lining up with the 12-hour 21 exponential average, as I'd imagine that is where our divergence play is going to be, which is actually still very much within the cards. We do see that bullish divergence is present on the 12-hour dildo time frame, and we actually do see an inverted head and shoulders on the 12-hour dildo time frame as well. And we actually would have broken above the proverbial neckline on the last 12-hour dildo close. So I do actually like all of that, and that is all points in the bullish court right now. But I'd still be very apprehensive about targeting a big bad move if we do break above that. So I do think that that 5800 area probably does get respected. We do see that it's a little bit more obvious, perhaps right on over here. It's not like a huge resistance area, so I do believe that if Bitcoin popped up over to it, it'd have like a quick comeback down and then probably try again higher. But it is present there, so it is a nice little scalping material, at least for myself, in the lower term timeframes. And that and I would be looking for that to play out if we do start closing 4-hour dildos above that blue box territory, or there's a little bit more of an aggressive way of doing this as well. But I do think that it is warranted here, just because things are looking interesting. And we actually do have, and the jewel buy signal is still actually kind of playing through, it looks like. But the other way of doing this, again, a more aggressive way of doing this would be using the high of our last kind of spike high on a daily, which was probably around 55.69.5. It looks like on GDEX. On Mexico, it was 55.66. Okay, so it looks like most exchanges are about on the same page. We also do see, by the way, the red 10 simple on the daily coming in right around 5,700. So anywhere between about 57 to 58, I would look for a short-term pushback on that price action if we do break to the north side. But I don't think that it's anything too strong. Could it be that we get a rejection there and then swing failure pattern all the way back down? Yep, possible. What I look for on that, because I am a little bit apprehensive with this price action right now, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. But if we got a wick up here and then came back down below the breakout point, like 5450, 5400 especially, then that would be very, 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 very obviously very obvious we're going to have a hunt to the, or sorry, we just had a hunt to the upside. We're going to have a swing failure pattern to the downside and come all the way back down to about 4800, about 4,800 to 4,600ish region, actually all the way down here. That would be incredibly bearish, but that's getting way ahead of ourselves right now. And I feel like I have to kind of, talk about all these different situations because it feels like a day of fuckery is abound. And then we'll kind of relate it to the traditional markets. But remember, the open interest back on over here is pretty much steady from yesterday to today. And price action has been floating up the whole way through. So what typically happens when we're looking at something like that, while volume is falling off from left to right, and volatility is contracted, is going through a contraction phase ever since then as well. Well, typically that is going to be indicative that we actually are going to play out the descending triangle here. The reason being is that what it essentially implies is that Bitcoin's just been floating up based upon shorts closing, which I do think that there's a good case on that. Thing is that you can actually have a breakout from shorts closing when of course when the boo laws pile on after that, but it's not very likely. It's not very likely. Anyways, so what I'd expect to see if Bitcoin is going to break above, and it's not going to be a fake out. So now we're getting a little bit deeper now. So please understand all the different contingencies that I'm making here, because this is getting a little bit even complicated for myself. And what I'd be looking for if Bitcoin does break to the north side is I want to see open interest shoot up. I want to see it shoot up like at least probably about 100 million, maybe 200 million, and break that next critical level, which on a 4-hour total closing base is going to be 5450, 5500 if you want to be more conservative, or waiting for a tick above yesterday's high or the day before that's high at 5569 and a half. Great number as well. If we get both those things, I do think that it will be continuation to the final target in the lower $6,000 region, like 6,100ish region, somewhere right around there would look good to me and fulfill that. Now there are still a few things on the boo law side right here. We do see that 4-hour jewel is still kind of following through. We got a pretty damn good buy signal right on over here on the 16th of May. It didn't really get all that much airtime though, actually. Or sorry, no, it's right on over here. So yeah, it actually did get a decent move. We got from 48.50 all the way to at the height 55.50 essentially. So $600 move. Could you make the argument that it's already played out? You could make the argument that it's already played out. Yes. So I don't have a strong opinion on that. I do want to check out how the other time frames momentum oscillators look right now. We do see that we do see first and foremost that 4-hour Stoics are still reaching up, but we are following this trend line. Remember from yesterday. And if we are going to have a nice little turn down, this would be a damn good place to do it. I do want to be on the record as saying that as well. What else do we have? Let's go through the 3-hour. What's the 3-hour doing? 3-hour Stokes, it's kind of snaking around a little bit. Even has the same sort of trend line as the 4-hour, which you would imagine is probably going to be pretty damn natural because, well, they're really not that far away from each other as far as time frames go. But I do like how they further confirm that fact. However, the 3-hour jewel does have a much better hodl your long signal right here. It's not giving you a buy signal. This is the buy signal right here. This was on, oh my God, this was on not on the low, but on about 49 or about 4,800, 48 to 4,900. And it's actually telling you to keep on hodling those longs right here. So fair enough. That would actually be another point in the court of the bulls, of course. Let's go towards the 2-hour. What do we see here? 2-hour still is going to be up and at them as well. And hourly going to be looking like they want to follow through as well. Too. So all of them are going to be working on the same side. So it does make me think that we probably do see, or we probably do see an attempt. Does the attempt get follow through? Does the attempt actually get like closures above critical levels? That's what I'd really be waiting for. And it is a little bit of a ticking time bomb because probably by end of day, maybe even early tomorrow, they should be, they will probably be pretty hot and start to turn down in unison as well together. And if that happens without Bitcoin breaking above like 5450, 5500, that's going to really put another point in the case of the bears right now. So let's talk about the bears here. So open interest analysis and volume analysis and volatility analysis are more or less on the side of the bears right now. However, what we can also do, let's kind of talk about exactly what this would look like. Let me get this fresh chart back again. There we go. Nice old Finex, and we'll do the descending triangle. Let's just get rid of everything because we don't even need it. There we go. Something like this, and doesn't even look like that much on on a lower on those lower time frames. On the 10-hour does on the 10-hour does, and you can see it's flirting with it right now. It's gonna have a chance to close above for sure. However, as long as Bitcoin's below and following this, which is coming in hot actually, a little bit below or a little bit above 5,400 right now. As long as it's below, technically speaking, yes, it is still within the cards, of course. And if we take out even today's low at 5,250. This one's cutting it close as well, but let me cut it in the middle here. Take the last local low, and we can use this as an actionable point as well at 5,150, 5,160 if you want to get super exact. Or let's see if that's consistent amongst the other exchanges. Where do we put in this last local low? Yeah, 5,150 on Stamp. Okay, cool. If Bitcoin does come back down to that level, and especially if it closes like even an hourly dildo below that level, or even takes out yesterday's low. One of those two things, if one of those two things happens, immediately bearish, looking for continuation all the way down to pretty much 4,800 to 4,850-ish region. At that point, this is going to really start to look like a descending triangle, and we can probably target that full-on move down to the next area that we have marked off down around here on our long-term chart, down around 4,150 to 4,250-ish region. So that's what I'd be looking for overall. But right now, it's a little bit less likely to happen because we're just further away from from that area. But we can look at the expected moves chart and come up with probabilities for these moves. So with that in mind, let's bring us right on over here, and you can see that we don't even need to put in the fucking pain right now to understand that obviously the probabilities are going to be on the upside, especially looking at the 12-hour, which has been, I think this one has been the most accurate time frame with getting it, at least for myself when I record these videos. And now that they are kind of static, that actually should be reproducible by anyone at any time who is using this, which is probably not too many people because I don't think anyone really has access to it. Anyways, we do see that to the top side, to the top side of the first deviation is all the way up at about 5,800. So I actually do like that 5,800-ish level. If Bitcoin does get a wick up to have at the very least a little bit of a short-term pullback. And obviously that is going to put the mass amount of probabilities on the upside here, because we're quite literally so close to the breakout point to the upside that I'd imagine that it's closer rather than not. We can go check it out right in over here, and we can see that our target price is pretty much the same. If I'm using 5,550, that would be a more conservative estimate. I'd even say that 5,500 is probably good enough, and even 5,450 if you want to be more aggressive on a closure, I think is completely fine actually. But I'll kind of cut those ones in the middle and let's see what it comes up with here. I'm gonna imagine it's probably above 30%, which is pretty damn good. Hey, come on, work, you fuck. Hold on, there we go. It should be. Well, it's not fucking updating now. Jesus Christ. Anyways, $50 above is not going to make all that much of a difference, to be quite honest with you. And currently showing about a little bit less than 36.25%, which is significant. And remember, that's even above kind of the critical point that I'd be looking at to call a breakout to the upside, and at the very least test 5,800-ish region, expecting a small pullback there, and then likely continuation, especially if we can get a higher time frame close above that region. Anyways, we just populated 5,500. Now it's literally above 40%, so that's pretty fucking good, and definitely the probabilities are on the upside right here. So with regards to historical volatility percentile, we are more likely to break this one to the upside. Let's check out the downside as well. I will check out the more aggressive target for this, which is going to be 5,150-ish region, and that would initiate a move all the way down to about 4,800. After that, though, then this is very obviously a descending triangle. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But did I get that one right this time? But let's see what the more aggressive area of action would kind of come up with. And let me just populate this twice. Has a little bit of a lag here. I'm getting used to it myself. But even just looking at the chart down around here, you can very easily see that actually the first deviation is. It is encompassing that region. It's just going to be further away from price action, but it should be less of a probability than what we're seeing right now for the 5,500-ish region, I'd imagine. Come on, baby, populate it up. There we go. A little bit less than 28%. So the probabilities are on the upside right now, but 28% is not that small either. Now, obviously, 40% is pretty fucking good. I mean, that's about as good as it gets, really. That's about as good as it gets, really. But 20% is nothing small either. So I am still a little bit split here, and this is probably going to be the one. This is not the one video. This is going to be like one of the videos of many videos where I say I don't really have a strong opinion. I'm just waiting for a break either which way, and then that's when the people in the comment section, what the fuck, Krown? Did you say Bitcoin could go up or down? Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Tell me where the shit's going. Tell me where those blue boxes are. Tell me in your fucking DMs exactly what I should do. Fuck you, man. Tell me what to do. If I had less of those messages, my life would be even better. Anyways, it's all good. I'm just having a little bit of fun right now. But yeah, anyways, let's go check out traditional markets because I'm pretty much that's pretty much what I have to say for Bitcoin right now. We can look at historical volatility percentile and see, I'd imagine it's probably just contracting on most time frames. We see the 10-hour contracting, moving averages coming down now. 6 hours contracting pretty damn heavily. But let's look at the lower term time frames. Are we getting towards a move? Yes, hourly is very, 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 very low, and this is typically what we look like before we do get at the very least like $100 to $200 move. If it comes to the upside, that should be enough. That should be enough just to push it past that critical point, and we actually will initiate the upside. By the same token, to the downside, we need about $300 from this price region to initiate that next obvious area. Anyways, so let's see what the 2 hour looks like. This one's also pretty damn good. Yeah, coming down hot as well, and should come down to a small pitter patter by actually. Yeah, late tonight for myself, early tomorrow for myself, which is going to be late tonight for those of you in the Western Hemisphere. Let's go to the 30-minute as well. Very, 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 very low. So 30-minute and hourly typically do get this thing pretty damn right, and should get this next move probably in this next day or two, and that kind of does match up at the end of the week for traditional markets. Of course, we do have CME's closing tomorrow. For the week, and that reminds me, let's go check out CME chart. I haven't looked at it in the last few days. I haven't really found too many different things going on right here. I don't see anything too different, to be fair. If we are looking at an hourly, however, it does look a lot more like an ascending triangle coming off the lows, which would be quite nice, especially if we can make a measure move off this and play it out, which would probably point us actually deep into the $6,000 territory. But let's see what the higher time frames look like first before talking all sorts of craziness. Doesn't look all that healthy right here on the daily, so put a lot more weight on that. 4 hours, same thing as well. I think that I think actually spot's easier to read right now, and very rarely does that happen. But this would be one of those. This would be one of those times. But hey, to be fair, we do have a series of higher lows. 1, 2, 3. However, that also means that if we destroy this last higher low at 51.50, oh baby, it's some downside, and it's bear back to the future once again. Anyways, let's go check out traditional markets. So I really do think that traditional markets are still driving this right now. I know a lot of people are saying all these very, 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 very interesting things on crypto Twitter and shit, that like Bitcoin's been steady or even rallied like 1% yesterday, and in traditional markets, had another limit down. Here's I don't want to go through the whole fucking correlation explanation right now because I'm like literally getting lightheaded as I speak. But here's your fucking correlation. 33% down from the last few weeks. 63% down from the last few weeks. Go fuck yourself. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. It's like, hey guys, Bitcoin went up 3% yesterday. Yeah, okay. Hey, fuckface. 60% versus 30%. What the fuck? Hey, what the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's like the amount of cognitive dissonance that people go through to make this look better is just insane. And the reason why I have such a bone to pick with this is not just because it's like easily mathematically proven, which, if you want the full on explanation, which I'm not in the right mindset to do today, and I probably wouldn't do it justice, go check out my Twitter profile. And there's a nice little thread, maybe like a week or so ago, kind of detailing it. Anyways, what else was I going to say? Fuck. Oh, I completely lost my train of thought right there. God damn it. Oh, well, it'll come back to me if I speak in a little bit of circles. Other than that, the next big thing that I'm waiting for on a weekly is if we could close the weekly above the 200 simple, I would look for that move to the upside to occur. I would look for at the very least a test of the 200 exponential average right here, which is at actually 5,800 or 5,850, and I would look likely for extension to the low 6,000s. Now, I actually do think that probably would get rejected around that region, but it would offer up, another $500, $600 rally, which is, very, very much tradable, especially at these price levels. That's more than a 10% move. That's what I want to say. So the reason why I have such a bone to pick with like all those correlation things is because when I see someone making that argument and they don't really have anything that they don't have anything more than like what we just said, or even more than that. Like if they can't disprove what I showed in that Twitter thread or what I've been showing on the videos of like the past few weeks, I feel like, and I feel like as a person who does believe in Bitcoin long term, it really cheapens the message. People like Pomp cheapen the message of Bitcoin because this is truly an interesting technology. And I think that it does have a place in the financial world. And I think perhaps we might even be seeing like use cases for it sooner rather than later, especially with the current, whole global climate, right? However, when you have people like that who like make a fucking mountain out of a molehill with these sorts of things, it makes it seem like we're all fucking wearing tinfoil hats and shit, which I love a good tinfoil hat. I love to talk conspiracy theories, but at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, we have to be fucking serious when it comes down to this. And I feel like it just kind of cheapens the message of it, and it turns off other rationally minded people who would probably be interested in this just because at the outset, just for what it is, at face value, it is very, very interesting. They just might not know the full information about it. But when you get people like that, perpetuating these very silly myths, it only puts a weird face on the market. You don't need to perpetuate that when it is what it is. You just need to let people see it. That's all. Anyways, okay, cool. Bitcoin rallying a little bit above 5,400. Nicely done, Bitcoin. Anyways, okay, let's go to traditional markets really quick. So I do think that traditional markets are once again, I won't call a bottom just yet, but I do think that we're gonna have another chance to bottom again today. So yesterday I said that if we traded above Monday's high, the 16th, I would call a bottom in a rally back up to like 270 or 275. We didn't get that. Obviously we opened down again yesterday, but now because we because we made new lows on that, and we did close as a little bit of a doji-ish type dildo, which is a sign of indecision, and we should be creating some divergences at this point. If we can confirm this as a local low, we will have the same sort of opportunity as what we had yesterday with getting above Monday's high, except now we can move that price, that point of failure down, point of success, I suppose, down to yesterday's high, which is 246.04. If we trade above that region, I would look for a quick move up to the low 250s again, like 254 to 255 region. And at that point, the same sort of logic applies for yesterday's idea with a reversal here, which if we trade above Monday's high, which is our current like weekly open, oh my God, I'm like literally slurring my words right now. I apologize. Then I would look for extension all the way up to the 10 simple, and maybe even the 21 exponential moving average coming into next week, which is going to outline our low 270 region and our upper 270-ish region. And here's the thing though. I do think that we would probably get rejected at that point. I do not think that the low is ultimately in for traditional markets. I do want to be on the record of saying that, but I do think that we probably have a local low in right here. And that can be easily confirmed today. And I wouldn't mind if it's not like I would mind this, it's like it doesn't fucking matter. But I do think that likely if this operates as a local low, we will spend some time rallying back up somewhere around the 200 simple and 200 exponential average to test the daily dildo death cross running over here between the green 55 and the purple 200, which are pretty much going to cross either today or tomorrow, extremely likely, unless we like open up back above $300 today, which is. I've seen crazy things happen. Not that crazy though, so probably gonna happen. So I would be looking for a rejection at on the next test of one of these major movement averages here. And then I'd probably be looking for traditional markets to come down over the next month or two, back down around these lows, or maybe even make a slightly lower low towards 220-ish region down here is what I marked off, or it looks like I destroyed all my drawings. I had to go through my trading view and destroy all my drawings, but it'd be right here in this little pocket of price action between 215 and 220-ish region is where I'd be looking towards. And I do think that that is actually where we probably actually do see traditional markets bottom maybe long term. But that's going to take some time. And what I'm getting this off of is essentially the fact that every market cycle low in traditional market history, every market cycle low in traditional market history has been marked by bullish divergence on the weekly. If we go back to 08, we see major bullish divergence here, major fucking bullish divergence between this point, and it spends its time. It spends its time between this point right here, one drive, two drives, 3 drives on the low, and this takes all the way from October 2008 to March 2009. So it takes its time, almost half a year. Our last major low before that in the .com bubble, of course, coming in right on over here. This one actually only gets one. I mean, could you call this a third drive right here? It is a third drive, but we don't have a third drive of divergence actually, but we do get 2 drives. So 1, 2, boom, low is in. We retest it, it holds, boom, up. More recently, we do have this guy right on over here. This one's not a market cycle low. This one's not a market cycle low, but we're working on the new market cycle right here. So I do think that we probably, regardless of this fact, whether we put in a local low right here or not, I do think that traditional markets will come down and at the very least retest these lows in the months to come, and probably even make a slightly lower low. And at that point, I'd really be looking to make a call on like a major bottom for traditional markets. But right now, we've retested our December 2018 lows, which I do think is probably going to give us an impetus for a short-term bounce, medium-term bounce, something like that. What else do I want to say? So there's something else that's on the tip of my tongue here. Fuck it. Fuck it. How long is this video? Oh, it's already 30 minutes. How the hell did that happen? That's kind of crazy. I feel like I haven't said anything. Okay, cool. Let's go check out Dixie. Let's go check out the dollar index. How's this one doing? Oh, are we back above $100? Yes, indeed we are. We actually we exceeded our target yesterday. I said a 101.25. We got to 101.75 actually. So pretty damn good. And I do think that we're gonna have a short-term pullback here, maybe back down to like 99.8. And then probably try again higher. I do think that longer term this is the real hedge apparently. This is the real fucking hedge apparently. This is the only thing that's like been steadily going up. Dollars and tethers. That's your real fucking hedge, dollars and tethers. But don't tell that to basically every moon boy on goddamn crypto Twitter. But yeah, looking to me like this does want some more. And I'm overall still bullish on this. I mean, even our weekly Stokes have been more or less consulting for the last, how long has this been going on? Ever since June 2018. So this is going to be a pretty massive break here. I don't trust formations in stochastics, but I do trust trend lines in stochastics. And we do see that it's been following that for a long time, and it's going to give another try to the upside right here. So if we actually could break above this, that should be the money shot, baby. Anyways, what else we want to look at? I think that's about it. I think I do want to make this video a little bit on the shorter side because I don't know if I'm just talking complete bullshit at this point. It does seem like I'm slurring a little bit about my words right now. Looking at, I do want to check out some of the top altcoins just really, really quickly here. Mr. Beaterall still following in the downtrend. I am skeptical of this breaking to the upside. While I did have a little bit of a clickbait intro, understand that the clickbait is secondary to the content. Very rarely do my titles ever have anything to do with. Very, very rarely do my titles ever have anything to do with the content. It's more so for playing YouTube. Still following it here, and momentum also just are pointed north on all the lower time frames. But it's a little bit of a ticking time bomb. If bulls are going to take control, they gotta take control in these next couple days, I'd imagine. Of course, they don't need to do anything, but you'd expect that it would happen sooner rather than later. For Mrs. Litecoin, same thing, although it looks a little bit more constructive, to be fair. It looks a little bit more constructive. I would say anywhere above this high right here at 36.25, and that's very obviously going to get continuation back up to like $38 over here. So we'll be looking towards something like this. See the same thing for Buterol. Where the interim target be? Somewhere right around here, like 135. If Bitcoin does head up to 98, not 98, 58. 58, that would be great. Anyways, what about some of the other ones? Just really, really quickly. What about Stellar? What's Stellar looking like? It looks like a descending triangle as well. Does not look good at all. What does Ripple Nipples look like? Wow, a descending triangle. How crazy is that? What does Monero look like? Monero looks a little bit more bottomy than the other two, be fair. Let's see. What about EOS? EOS, same thing. Another descending triangle on the lows. Neo, just looks wrecked. Tron also looks quite wrecked, but it does have some higher lows there too, so fair enough. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for right now. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's wrap this bitch up, make it very, 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 very nice and clean. There are 2 blue boxes that matter right now for the next breakout. If we do break above this blue box right here, close even a 4-hour dildo above like 54.50, or if you want to be more conservative, 5,500, or even takes out this high at 5,566. I would look for extension towards about 5,800, and probably a small pullback there, and then perhaps a full meeting of the inverted head and shoulders target all the way up to about 6100ish region. By the same token, as long as we are using this blue box as death and decay and distribution, which is helped out by the open interest case right on over here, which is helped out by the volume analysis right on over here, which is helped out by the general altcoin market looking more like distributive patterns, then I'd be looking for this blue box over here to get broken to the downside. That's going to be confirmation, in my opinion, of this playing out at ascending triangle, and we are not doing the more light version of that. And I'd look for a quick move down to about 4800ish region, give or take about $50, probably a small bounce there, and then continuation to 4250, over the next week or whatever it ends up being. Again, time analysis not my thing. But going level by level, pretty damn nice and orderly here, actually, to be fair. So I think I'll cut it off right there. I want to wish you well once again. I want to remind myself that, like I said, I am a little bit, I'm pretty under the weather right now. So, if you are trying to contact me on Discord, please, only if it's like a life or death situation right now. I do have a few things to focus on. Elsa can help you via email. She's very capable. She's trained well, and I'll be back as soon as possible. I will not be doing Twitch today. I don't think that I really have the energy or like fortitude for it right now. I'm just gonna be spending my time recovering, and again, I really appreciate all the well wishes. It's been really overwhelming, and it's I think I'm like a little bit too drugged up still to like really express my gratitude for that, but it really does mean a lot, and I really appreciate that. So I want to say massive thank you for that, and like I said, I want to wish you well once again. Take care, and until next time.